The number one reason people say that they go to couples therapy is to improve their communication. And although this isn't exactly why people really go to couples therapy, I'll talk about that in another video, I do want to talk about communication and how to do it most effectively. It is so easy to communicate efficiently and effectively if you follow these tips. I'm Dr. Dana Torpey-Newman. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist. Together with my husband, Eric Newman, we are Newman Psych. One of my areas of expertise is couples therapy, and I love, love, love talking about relationships because actually when people's relationships are going poorly, they miss work, they feel depressed, their lives are not going well. And so anytime that I can give some quick tips on how to make your relationship better, I feel so happy. So let's talk about communication. Here's what I think optimal communication looks like, and then we'll talk about the components a little bit. So in optimal communication, let's say that I and Eric, my partner, are having some sort of a discussion. And I say to him, I set some sort of an expectation for him. I say, hey, I'm gonna make sure that I take out the trash today after dinner. And he says either like, yes, that's acceptable, or like, no, that doesn't really work. So he could say like, cool, thanks, I'm glad you're doing that. Or he might say like, we put really smelly things in there, and I think if we wait until after dinner, we're going to probably like poison ourselves. And then I will say either, great, that is the agreement, I will carry that out, or we'll have some negotiation about whether or not what the actual optimal solution is. Now let's say we agree on, I'm gonna take out the trash after dinner, and I'm not able to do that. Maybe because like one of our children threw up. Because right, that's often the reason you don't get to do things, because some emergency happens. And so I would go back to him and I would say, hey, I know I said I was gonna take out the trash right now. However, there is this like vomit situation that we need to deal with. So I'm gonna do it after. And he would say, of course, he would say like, yes, that makes complete sense. So notice what happened here. I wasn't able to meet his expectations. So I went back, I acknowledged that I had set these expectations, and I set different expectations for him to then say, cool, that's fine. There are times when he might say like, look, I'm gonna clean up the vomit. You can take out the trash, don't worry about it. So that's him saying like, hey, that doesn't work for me. Here's another alternative. But you can see that there's a back and forth where I've made a commitment. He has said that does work for him. If I am unable to meet that commitment, I acknowledge that I made it, and I offer another solution, and he either accepts that or proposes something different. If people did this in communication, I cannot tell you how much better everyone would feel. So in couples therapy, I often have one partner. This is a stereotype, but it is often the man who says to me, do I have to say all of those words? To which I say, yes, you do have to say all of those words, because it actually makes your partner feel so much more human and so much more cared for. If you think about this as like applicable to business, because you'd be shocked at how many times in couples therapy, one or both partners says to me something like, I've been using the things that we've been talking about at work, and I feel like things are going really well. And I'm like, yes, that is why all corporations should also follow what I'm saying. So basically, if you think about how you feel when you interact with a business, and this happens all the time, like let's say someone is like, I'm going to deliver this between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. We all know this, right? I'm gonna deliver this, I'm gonna come fix this. And you never hear from them until like 5 p.m. when either they haven't shown up or maybe they say, oh, we couldn't make it. If you think about how much better you would feel, how much more of a human you would feel like if someone said to you, hey, I know I set this as the time window. I'm really sorry, I'm not able to make it. Does this time work instead? Wouldn't you feel so much better in your day-to-day interactions? And so that's why I wanted to talk about this. It is actually such a small change in your communication, but the impact, both as the recipient of this and as the person who is giving this information, is so positive and so wonderful. Like, you will be amazed. So I want you to try it out. Comment below. Let me know how it goes, because if you run into anything where you're like, what should that look like? Or how do I do this? Like, I will help you out in the comments. So like and subscribe to our channel if you found this content to be helpful, and please practice this. I feel like we would all feel so much better psychologically if we communicated in this way and treated each other in such like a lovely, warm, acknowledging of their humanity way.